With the approval of the NCAA, the Big 12 this season will experiment using an 8th official during 45 conference and 4 non-conference games. The 8th official will make his debut at 4 of Saturday's games.
Administering the pace of the game, because that has changed. Covering blind spots, that the evolution of the game has created because there's only 7 of us and the 22 players are spread out all over the field. It's created blind spots. It's something that we've really been talking about now for several years, simply because the game is changing at the pace it is, at a lot of different levels. And what we've got to be sure is that officiating changes along with the game to be sure that it's administered fairly for both sides of the football.
The 8th official will line up in the offensive backfield opposite the referee and will wear the letter A. The 8th official will have the main duty of getting the football spotted after each play. He also provides an extra pair of eyes and will help keep an eye on line play.
It's definitely an issue. There's a fine line whether the refs push the pace of play, your team pushes the pace of play, and I understand that. So I think each crew varies, and if the more consistency we can get, the better.
7 Big 12 teams averaged more than 70 plays per game last season, and the pace of play is only getting faster.
It wasn't very many years ago we had 150 plays a game. I can remember pregame we'd say we got to be good for 150 plays. That can be almost a half today. So as a referee in my position, even helping to spot the football during the play, it takes me away from substitution. When teams play this quickly, having that 8th official allows me to hang back, if you will, and monitor that substitution and give the defense ample opportunity to match up.
The last change to officiating crews came 30 years ago when the back judge was added because teams had 1 and sometimes 2 receivers split out wide.
Being proactive is always means that you're on the right track and you know, having the sense that the game's changing. You know, and he brought up a point that was pretty interesting. Back in 1983, they added the 7th official. Well, the game's a whole lot different now than it was back in 1983. So by doing this, I think we are being proactive, and we do feel like officiating is fairly important in the Big 12.
We really didn't have mechanically in place enough officials to be able to watch that amount of what we called spread. I mean, we sort of laugh at that amount of spread now because we got 5 receivers spread all over.
The Big 12 rolled out the 8th official experiment at selected spring games. Greg Burks was part of the crew in Stillwater, with Walt Anderson serving as the 8th official.
Today was the first day that I really got to use it in a game situation, and it was amazing how much it helped from my perspective.
Well, I think it works good. We've had the officials here for our scrimmages over the last month, and they've used the 8th official, and it's worked out really well. Our offense felt like we could move fast, and it gives them a chance, as I said, to spot the ball and get out of the way.
Our Big 12 officials have done an outstanding job. I mean, they've moved with the game, they've grown with the game and the flow of the game. So it has not been an issue, but maybe this is a way to make it better, you know, and that's what we're always looking for, a way to be faster, be better, and, you know, increase our tempo.
I think the game evolves, and you got to evolve with it, and I think that's what the Big 12 is trying to do, especially with all the up-tempo teams we have in our league. I think it just makes sense.
The more people you got out there directing traffic, the better it's going to flow. So it's, you know, it's kind of the same thing on the football field. The more guys you got out there helping the game go, then the smoother it's going to run.
The one thing that's happened in college football over the last few years is things keep changing at such a pace that the officiating has to continue to change to stay up with it so that we can be at the front edge instead of the lagging part of the game.
There are a lot of areas within the game that we want to be sure that the officiating mechanics are keeping pace with the dynamics of the game and how it's changing.
For the Big 12 Digital Network, I'm Wendell Barnhouse.